Alright ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back to a brand new episode of Upcoming RPG. Today's episode is on a game that I've been keeping my eye on for over a year and have seen it being delayed again and again and again and about 5 times after that. Despite the numerous delays, however, I'm still looking forward to it. The game I'm talking about is obviously the upcoming sci-fi RPG Within the Cosmos. Within the Cosmos is being developed by a solo developer called DebDev, who has been in game development for almost 10 years. DebDev has been developing this game for about 5 years, I think, judging from a wee devlog I seen over on Steam, which, to be honest, is quite crazy, since the scale of this game is quite big. So keeping those delays in mind, by the way, I'll say this. Do not have high hopes for this coming out anytime soon, even though I feel like it's like every month, so I'm like, oh yeah, this game is coming out next month. And then the developer's like, it has been delayed. Anyway, let's dive into what I would say is the most important part to any RPG, and that is the world and the story. Within the Cosmos is set in the year 2278, with humanity now on the verge of extinction. The player is one of 500 United Earth Space Agency employees who were put into cryogenic sleep and sent to the distant planet of Berith 2. Your goal was to, above all else, preserve the human race, as the planet was fighting a losing war. Once you arrive at Berith 2, your crew is attacked by an unknown enemy, and it's up to you to deal some payback. Now, funny thing about this game, I actually discovered it like a couple of weeks before the Outer Worlds came out, and you could say the parallels are, you know, quite obvious here. Actually, one of the said release dates I was talking about before was around the time of the Outer Worlds release date, so I understand where the dev was coming from when he delayed it at that point, you know, distance it out a wee bit. So is my interest piqued? Slightly, I would say. Like I say with most RPGs out there, I want to know more about the world, I want to know more about the lore, and overall I just want to learn more about the overall story of the game. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot more story details here than in Isles of Adallio, but, you know, we could still use a wee tiny bit more to draw us in. Judging from one of the gameplay trailers, it seems like one of the major inhabitants of Berith 2 is some form of robot. One of these bots you'll find is called Solace, who apparently can be recruited as a companion, which is quite cool. Although you should never fully trust a robot, you know, I've watched iRobot with Will Smith. We all know how robots can rise up and take over. I will not be having that on my crew. It seems like there's also going to be a few factions kicking about the planet as well. According to the developer, there's a few that you can actually join or go against. One of them possibly being a rebel faction that can be seen fighting against in one of the gameplay videos. Gameplay in Within the Cosmos is very similar to the likes of Western RPGs like Fallout and the Outer Worlds. Despite the game being in only first person, you can create your own character. At the start of the game, you'll go through the character creator where you can alter your character's appearance and attributes. You can also change and alter the character's birth certificate and identification. Maybe these two categories give your character different traits, maybe they affect your playthrough, I don't know, that's just a guess by the way. With attributes we have 5 different categories to upgrade: Constitution, Agility, Intelligence, Perception, and Charisma. All of these affect different skills like weapon handling, science, and dialogue. There are up to 14 skills to upgrade as well, all catering to your own individual playstyle. So if you want to be quite sneaky, then you can do that, or if you want to be a lying little prick, you can do that too. And with all this, there is also 62 perks in the game, each requiring different levels of skills to acquire. So every 2 levels, the player obtains points which can be spent on these perks. Kinda like in Fallout, where you have like, I think it's like it starts out with every level, and then like after level 5 it's every 5 levels, I believe, is it? Or every 2? Kinda like that, it's similar to that system. Also similar to Fallout, more specifically New Vegas, there is also a reputation system, I know. Since you'll be dancing around all these different factions, you're going to be having a different relationship with each faction depending on your actions. So let's say you treated one of them quite poorly in one playthrough, that means that that faction will become quite negative towards you. At first it might be them just heightening the prices at vendors in their territories, or if they don't like you enough, then they might just straight up want to kill you, I don't know. Similar to New Vegas, armour also comes into play with factions. Faction-tied armour you wear will also cause other factions to react to you differently. One thing that might draw your attention to this game is the dialogue system. The dialogue seems to give you a good variety of options options instead of just 4 simple choices on a wheel where every option leads to the same thing. You know what I'm talking about here, I do not like it. Going back to your skills, these will also come into effect in your dialogue, as there is multiple skill checks you may encounter along your way. You might need a certain amount of charisma to charm your way into somewhere, or you might need to lie to obtain a certain item in your quest. For me, every time I play like a Fallout or the Outer Worlds or maybe Elder Scrolls or something like that, I always upgrade the speech just because it just helps you out a lot. It gets you past so much shit, it literally removes a bunch of bullshit from your playthrough. Within the Cosmos is a pretty open game, with the player being able to explore much of the Adallio star system. Although the description only really mentions Berith 2, the player will be able to explore multiple planets and a space station, I think, judging from the gameplay. Because it is multiple planets, I can imagine the game being laid out quite similar to, again, the Outer Worlds. Meaning instead of a massive big open world map, which a lot of yous like, it will be semi-open world with multiple open areas. The dev mentioned something about crewmates a few times, so I wonder if you're going to have your own ship to fly around the star system with. Again, like the Outer Worlds. I just want to reiterate that this game was being developed before the Outer Worlds, so just want to say that now. It's also being developed by one person, so again, just want to say that. So if you do fly around your own ship, it would be cool if you could add that personal touch to it. Maybe have the system from Fallout 3 where we can go to like a vendor to buy ship themes, let's say, to change the atmosphere and style of our home. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in Fallout 3, if you buy the Megaton home, you can go to Moira and buy like a house theme, so if you want to like make your house feel very raidery, then you can do that. Now let's talk about violence for a wee second here, because we all know I'm definitely going to get into a wee sticky situation or two in this game. I always do. The game is essentially a first-person shooter with the player having access to an assortment of weaponry. I don't think there's that many weapons judging from the gameplay clips. There are basic weapon types though that you can get, like pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, snipers, you know, the basics. All these weapons can be accessed during battle through a weapon wheel as well. You can also pick up grenades, but I don't really know too much on that front. Although there doesn't really seem to be much variety in terms of weaponry, they can be upgraded though. So that means if you do have an assault rifle, you can fully customize that with different skins and attachments. Weapons might not always be there for you during battle. You might run out of ammo, you just lose your weapon or something like that. So you need that extra edge. And that is where your spacesuit comes in. Throughout the game, you'll be able to obtain various modules that will enhance your suit, giving the player a ton of new abilities to use not only in battle but also out of it as well. Maybe it'll help with like just travelling about, maybe you can jump higher, run faster, I don't know. If you ever get bored of roaming the cosmos, you might want to hop into the game mode Swarm. This game mode is an objective-based horde mode where you survive against wave after wave of enemies. It's quite a weird addition to the game, I wasn't really expecting it, but you know. Ayo, it's more content is more content, so I'm not really complaining. Before we wrap up this video though, one thing I need to touch on is the importance of choice and consequence in a game like this. The dev seems quite eager to emphasise this, with allowing you to make choices through the dialogue and how the player interacts or harms factions and characters in the world. So all of these decisions will factor into what ending you'll get, so you know, keep that in mind, whatever decision you make will affect your ending. Honestly, I do feel like the developer is trying to give us as much choice as possible, because that's what every good RPG needs, is choice and consequence, and that is why games like New Vegas, and the Outer Worlds, and Elder Scrolls, and Baldur's Gate, and all these massive fucking RPGs are so successful. So that was Within the Cosmos. Are you interested in this upcoming RPG title, and will you pick up whenever it gets around to launching? Let me know down in the comments below. Special thanks to my lovely wee patrons Kaji, Proxy1 and TG Monster for your continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I do really appreciate it. One thing I need to say before ending the video right now is that I know this game is being developed by one developer, which is a bit concerning because this game is huge, right? This, like, in terms of the scope, in terms of like writing this down on paper, I can see this game being quite big, and I understand why the delays are happening, but I'm just a bit concerned that this guy has too much on his plate, you know? But again, he seems like he's handling it, he seems like he's doing it, which, fucking good on him, absolutely good on you. So, if you're listening to this, was it Dev? Thank you so much for making this game. This game seems awesome, and I'm looking forward to covering it more. I can't wait to play it because If all this can be made by one guy, what the fuck are Bethesda doing for 3 years, you know? But yeah, thank you all for watching the video, and I shall be seeing you all later. Bye bye.